All right. Hi, everybody. Welcome to our first professional learning session of the school year. And Whitney and Kristen, thank you for joining us. We'll see if some more people join us as well. But one of the reasons I wanted to record today's session was I wanted to send a video out to the whole district about our professional learning calendar. You know, at the beginning of the year, I usually visit each building and I go through our professional learning sessions and all the things that we have to offer. And this year I did not have a chance to do that. And so I want to know that we let everybody know that we made some changes and what's going to be available. So I'm going to go ahead and share a tab with everybody right now. And I just pulled up a document. Kristen, if you could unmute yourself and let me know if you can see our DLT Core 4 there.
Yes, I can see it.
Okay, so the reason I pulled this up, if you're logged into your Chrome browser and it's synced, you should see staff resources in the top left-hand corner of your screen. It doesn't matter if you're in your mail or whatever. And we have loaded that. Chelsea has done an amazing job of loading this with all sorts of tools that we can use throughout the day and throughout the week and throughout the school year. I want to point everybody to the second one down, which is our PL calendar for 23-24. And so this will be a living document. I'm going to pull that up right now and kind of walk through some of our themes for the year, some of the offerings that we want to have for everybody. And want to give you a chance to share your ideas. You, of course, can do that at any time, but this is also a great time. So kind of our theme for the year is care, listen, and connect. I got a wristband on that says that. We passed out some shirts opening day. I think we do a great job as a district caring for one another, listening to each other and connecting. But I think it's an awesome virtue to live up to. And so it's great to have that reminder. I know I can always improve. So I think it's great to have a theme each year. I want everybody to think of our professional learning calendar as a work in progress. It's a living document that we will add to as we have needs. And so I think it'd be silly to kind of sketch out every professional learning session we were going to have for the school year and think we would meet everybody's needs. Things are going to pop up. We're going to have a student in the classroom or interaction with a family or a colleague, and we're going to be like, hey, it would be great if we got a little more training on how to make this experience even better for others. And so as you think of opportunities that you could provide for your colleagues or ones that we should go out to our ESC or professionals around the country or world, let us know what you need. And we want to try to provide that for everybody. I like to begin each year with our BBO. I'm not going to read through it, but I do read through our BBO kind of regularly. It keeps me on keel. It keeps me kind of grounded on what our mission is. Whenever there's a problem in the school year, I look to our BBO for guidance. And I really do believe if we think together, relentless pursuit of growth, and own it, we really will have a great school year. Our DLT also came up with a core 4 values for academics. And as we look at our professional learning calendar, a lot of what's in our professional learning calendar has to do with these 4 beliefs. Each staff member has the ability to impact individual growth and learning. That was one of John Hattie's principles. The only one that rated higher than that was if we could get families to believe that their child really can grow and learn. That was the only one that ranked higher, but we need each and every staff member to believe that every child can learn. And so it's a work in progress because they can. Second one is literacy skills are essential for all areas of learning. Congratulations to everybody in the school district. Man, have we made growth. We're a 4.5 school on the Ohio report card. We're one of the top 25% schools in the state of Ohio. Those are all great, but what we're really all about is making a difference in the lives of kids. And literacy is a big one in there. And we grew a whole point in that category. And our hard work is really showing, and that's each and every teacher. The wellness of students, staff, and families is a crucial component of ongoing learning. We're going to keep adding to that. Last year, we tried to make that a focus for the year, and we found out that's a really hard one to address. And what we found out was the wellness of students, staff, and family needs to be part of every conversation. So whether we're talking about the professional learning calendar or we're talking about technology or ordering textbooks, we need to think of the wellness of everybody involved during that process. That's what we learned from it. And the last one, I think it's really moving towards focus. This is where I see our district headed, about how we can make learning personal for each and every teacher in this professional learning calendar, staff member, and student. And I love those goals in there. And so, set goals with every student, set goals with each and every staff member. What do you want to learn? I think that's the best learning right there. So I'm really proud of those. In our professional learning calendar, we try to keep an accurate log of who's on what committee for several reasons. If you're on the committee, it's good to know that you're on a committee. So here's a list of our committees. Also, if you're not on the committee, but you have something that you want to contribute, you want to talk to a member of that committee. Let's take Chelsea's technology committee. there. So if I was a middle school teacher, I would look for a middle school colleague and I'd say, oh, there's Diane Dunn. I'm going to have a conversation with Diane about some technology needs or training that I feel our group or I myself may need. And so you can see everybody who's on different committees right in there. And if you find an error in spelling or somebody's not really on that committee, please let me know and we'll keep it updated. And then we have our department and grade level chairs. That's very helpful. And there's our statement on wellness and learning. We're going to keep that in there because I believe when we put things in front of ourselves as reminders, we strive towards them. And so we don't ever want to lose the fact that wellness is a huge part of teaching and learning. Now, this year, we're going to try to offer some really unique variety of professional learning. Last year, we did a really cool book study. I remember we did Jimmy Casa's Handle with Care. We did we use hexagonal learning strategies to collect ideas. Some people use that as part of their goals for their year. A lot of good came from that. We had about 40 staff members part of that book study, and we're going to do a book study again, and we can see that represented in the center column. Kendra Van Dorn had a great idea. She said, not everybody can read as fast as others or as often or has that time for like that, but everybody can listen like when they're working out or walking the dog or whatever. And she said, is there any possibility that we could do a podcast study? And so we're going to try it. We're going to treat it kind of like a book study where I think we're going to pick a topic. I'm just going to pick one now. I'm not saying this is the topic, but let's say it's trauma-informed teaching and learning. And we're going to find various episodes from different podcasts about that topic and then assign those almost like you would chapters of a book. People will listen to them when they're out for walks or doing whatever, and then we'll either meet virtually or in person. I kind of like in person, but we'll see what's best for each campus. We're going to get this organized and talk about the episodes that we listened to. What were our takeaways? What are we going to apply? How's it going to help me in my role? So that's a really fun one. We're doing some in-person campus sessions, this green box up here. Next Tuesday at this time, Chelsea and I are going to do our third iPad Academy. I believe it's at the high school in the Digital Media Center. It's a rather large group. We're also going to make that available on our first enrichment day, which is the first week of October. And if you can't make either of those, we'll keep trying. We really believe every teacher should have an iPad, every staff member, for various reasons. We think it's a great learning tool. We think it's a great tool to take to meetings. We think it's a great tool to interact with our smart boards. There's just a lot of good reasons. Doesn't mean we're moving away from Google Chromebooks. We're not. We're one-to-one with Google Chromebooks, but we see technology kind of like golf clubs. Like you need different tools for different jobs. You need different golf clubs for different areas of the green. I'm not a golfer, so if I murdered that one, forgive me. But we do our best to try to provide the tools for all of our challenging situations for success. And so we're going to have some other in-person campus sessions. Last year, the Red Box, we had some guest presenters come in. A former student of mine I'm so proud of. She is a school psychologist down in Southern Ohio, and she came and spoke to our staff last year, and we had other one like that. Sometimes we bring in or have vendors that we purchase resources, curriculum resources, other training tools, and sometimes they provide training. And sometimes we need refreshers. Or we're a new staff member, and everybody else had gone through the training, but I haven't. And we need to be alerted to that. Like we get forgetful sometimes that we have a new teacher and they're not as familiar with the tool as our current teachers. And so we want to continue to provide professional learning in those areas as well. So don't be shy. If you're sitting back and you're hearing somebody talk about something and you're like, man, I really don't know enough about that. We want to provide you with that training. Just reach out to us and we will hook you up with what you need. We are going to continue these Google Meet sessions each Tuesday. We're going to try to correct the time a little bit because I know it really conflicts with Baton, but we're going to go bi-weekly this year. Last year, Chelsea and I just felt that it was really difficult. We weren't getting a lot of people in attendance, but if we can make a difference in the lives of a few, it's worth it. We weren't getting a lot of people volunteering to lead sessions, and we know we have a lot of talented people. And so we just kind of want to take a step back and say we want to keep offering this because you can watch these as recordings, but it was a lot of work for us to try to organize one each and every week. Technology training, Chelsea does such a fantastic job. Whenever I get a chance to work with her and help out, it's always a joy. But we've got some cool equipment. We've got virtual reality goggles that the district now owns. We're using those in high school math. And now we're going to expand to high school science. We hope to bring that to the middle school math in other areas, including fine arts like art, like kids doing three-dimensional paintings or sculptures with the virtual reality. And we have other tools as well. We're going to be getting an iPad cart for each building. When I first arrived at Port Clinton 7 years ago, can you believe I've been here that long? We had a cart in each building, but they were already vintage. They were not working well. And we're bringing those back because we think they're great creation tools. And so we want teachers to understand how to use iPads to teach and to learn. And then we want to use the carts to help our students publish and create and apply what they're learning in our classrooms to make things that have never been made before. And finally, anytime that you want, like maybe you can't attend a session, maybe you can't, watch something that we've already recorded, or there's some kind of challenge. We want to provide you with the one-on-one coaching or collaboration or whatever you want to call it anytime that you need it. And so we just need to know. We just need you to reach out. So that's just kind of an overview of some of the offerings that we're going to do this year. That's ambitious. That's going to take a lot of planning. We really hope that the talented people at Port Clinton City Schools step forward and say, hey, I want to contribute. I want to be part of the professional learning calendar. I don't want people to think of it as something that we just provide for you. It's something that we all belong to and should share in. And so that's kind of the goal of it. Over the years, yes.
Can people watch any of the professional development from last year?
Yes. So if you went into staff resources, I'll just do that now, Kristen. If you go down to staff resources, can you see me dropping down to curriculum resources? Can you see that on your screen? I'm going to assume that you can. And it'll take you over to curriculum resources. And if you look at the top tab, it says professional learning. And if you click on that, you'll see we have recorded over 46 different sessions. And you just click on it, and these will load in a second. There it goes. And you'll see all the sessions that we've recorded previously. Is that helpful, Kristen? Okay, Kristen, I don't know if you can hear me. If you could unmute, was that helpful?
It's helpful.
Okay, very good. Okay, sorry. No, we can't see anybody. So I'm going to pretend there's like 300 people watching. So I'm just going to pretend that's the case. All right, so I'm back on the professional learning calendar, and I'm scrolling down to about where I was. Yes. All right. So we found out over the years when our DLT met, when we had one-to-one meetings with teachers, anytime we did something, teachers kept sharing that they wanted to go see their peers in the classroom. And while I can organize that anytime you want, probably the best way to make that happen is just go to your building principal. Say, hey, I heard about a teacher in another building or another part of our building that did this or that. I would love to see it in action. I'll help you. They'll help you. Anytime you want to visit a peer in a classroom, we encourage it. I don't know that anybody would be like, no, I don't want people in my classroom. But, we want to check in with them first with respect. But I think anything that I did well in education, I learned from another educator and just tried to put my little bit of touch onto it and make improvements or, make it personal where I could. And I think that's still true today. We see others doing great things. Let's get in the classrooms and see it. I know when we talk about curriculum, that's not always the most popular word to use, but we do kind of have a checklist here of minimum standards when it comes to our understanding of the Ohio Learning Standards and what we need to do. And we still have a few areas that are not complete in the maps. And, when a new teacher gets hired and they come into the district and there's nothing available on what the previous educator did, it really presents challenges and puts us back a little bit. And so I challenge every educator, each and every department chair, grade level chair, to look at this curriculum checklist over, go to the staff resources, drop down to curriculum resources, and look at our curriculum maps and see what we have. And ask yourself, if I were a new teacher coming into our district, would I have the start that I needed to make a difference in the lives of kids? And so I think that these minimum requirements that we have listed here, this isn't like go do it on your own. I want to help you. They're very easy to accomplish. And they are very helpful. And we can't. This is not something that we can provide for others. This is something that we work in collaboration with other educators on. We've done a great job, and I think that is a small part of the success that we've had. I think the success is that we just have excellent teachers and we have great kids. So, anyways, those are the minimum standards. All right, we try to kind of outline how we're going to use our enrichment days. This is an area that I'm going to work with assistant principals on. Filling in what our areas of focus for the enrichment days are. And there's not much filled in right now. That's why this is a living document. We also don't want to fill everything out because we want to have time built in for those natural conversations, those natural connections, those natural opportunities to do the work that we need to do. We can't just pre-plan everything. And so it's good to have some blanks in here. I'll be working with assistant principals on getting a more of a skeleton of what we're going to be doing on these enrichment days. Professional learning sessions will probably preload a week or two in advance. You can see tonight's on here, September 19th, and you can see next week's. We'll be working on the future ones. If someone listening is like, hey, I would like to show everybody this cool thing I did in my classroom, I think it might be helpful, man, send me, I would absolutely love that. When I send out the reminders, I always include this QR code. You might be driving to visit your child at college or in another town or something like that. You could listen. You can actually listen to the professional learning sessions through your telephone. You don't have to necessarily be on Google Meet. I don't know if a lot of people knew that, but just scan this QR code and it'll give you a couple different ways to join in. All right, this is brand new, breaking news right here. We have just a few minutes left. So this year, we've always offered some opportunities with Ashland University to get graduate credit. But this year, drum roll, big news, we're going to be able to let any professional learning opportunity that takes place at Port Clinton City Schools count towards a graduate credit hour. Seriously. And so what we've done, I met last week with a professor at Ashland. I'm an adjunct professor for Ashland. I don't get any money or anything like that for doing it. I just want to help teachers. And so I serve as the organizer. I serve as the person who assigns the pass or fail grade. I can't give you a transcript. I can't help you with your LPDC. I can't help you with the finance department on getting reimbursed, but I can help connect you with Ashland and get the credit hour, and then you deal with them for payment and everything. So there's a couple things you got to do. We're really excited to offer this. You can earn 1 credit hour, you can earn 2 credit hours, you can earn 3 credit hours. It just depends on the amount of work that you want to do. So the first part, if at any point during this year you think you might want to earn Ashland University graduate credit hours, you need to hit this first link, which will take you into a Google Classroom I set up. This is where we'll keep track of your contact hours, which get converted into credit hours. This is where we'll collect your certificates. This is where we'll handle all that. It'll be a hub where all that takes place. The second link is a Google Doc, and I'm going to click on it right now, and hopefully this will, you can see it loads. It forces you to make a copy. I'll just zoom in. I don't know if that's zooming in on yours, but you will keep track of like all the professional learning that you do. And it could be like if you've already attended an iPad Academy with Chelsea and I, or if you did Smartboard training, or if your building's going through the science of reading, really just about anything, you'll keep track of the date, the time that you were there, the name of the session, how many hours that you were there. And then this last column is really important. You need to have an attached signed certificate or even a note, necessarily if it didn't come from us, that said there. We have to have some sort of designated person that says, yep, I can verify that they were part of this. And then at the end of the year, all these contact hours can be converted to graduate credit hours. So you can see 12.5 minimum hours would equal 1 hour of graduate credit. And we will have a limit on that. Now, there is always fine print, right? So for each of the hours, there's a progression of like the first, if you want 1 graduate credit hours, you just write a short little paper like, hey, these are some things I learned. This is how I think I'm going to apply them in my classroom. No big deal. For 2 hours, you're going to have to do just a little bit more. For 3 graduate credit hours, you may have to present to like, your fleet or a group of teachers or something like that. But we'll work it all out. We want you to get credit for the great learning that you're taking part in, because you should. And this is something that we've always wanted to do, and we're really happy that we're able to do it this year. And so there'll be more on that later. I'm sure there'll be some questions on this. But how awesome is it for every single professional learning opportunity that we're offering? Now we're going to be able to at least get some graduate credit hours if we need it. If you're renewing your certificate, or you want to get bumped up on the pay scale, whatever, or you just want the graduate credit hours. And so really, I'm really excited about that piece. So definitely click the Google Classroom, join that, make a copy of the training of your hours, and even a session like we're going to do next week, that would count. If you're curious, just email me and say, do you think this will count? The answer more than likely is yes, but we don't want someone to abuse this. And I know no one in our district would, but we wouldn't want somebody to wait till the end of the school year and then try to fill in the blanks. Keep track of as you're going along and keep those certificates that you're presented with. These Tuesday sessions, like if you watch these, it automatically logs you in. Chelsea's got it magically, wizardly set up to do that. And then at the end of the month, it kicks out a certificate to everybody who attended and watched. So that's pretty darn cool. And then finally, to close, before we get to the question and answer time, we tried to provide a month look at trainings, at different types of meetings that might be applicable to our staff members. And sometimes you'll see Baton data meeting on there, but you're not in Baton. And you might be like, why is that on the professional learning calendar? Because that's not for everybody. I believe great ideas grow great ideas. And so when you hear about a professional learning community somewhere in our district doing great things, I think it inspires us to do similar great things. And so you'll see those on there. And so you'll see these months of what activities we're offering and what's actually falling on these days as the year goes on. And if you know of something that's not on the calendar, reach out to us and ask us to add it. If counselors are bringing in a speaker and it's not listed on here, but somebody from the high school might be able to break away, listen to that speaker, get a great idea, and impact the life of one of our students, how awesome would that be? That's what this is all about. So this is our professional learning calendar. It's housed in the staff resources tab when you're logged into the Chrome browser. And I really challenge you to be a participant, to be a contributor, earn graduate credit hours, teach others about the great things that you're doing. So I'm going to go back and stop sharing and see if anybody has, listen to all those applause. I'm kidding. All right. So I'm back. All right. We got just a couple minutes left. So thank you, Whitney, and thank you, Kristen, and thank you to our district for watching this video and learning about our professional learning calendar and all the fun things that we want to offer and how you can earn graduate credit hours. Any questions that I can answer?
For the document, it said access denied, so you might need to change the permissions so I can copy it.
Whitney, this might surprise you. That's not the first time I've done something like that. So I'm going to jump in there and I'm going to change the permission on that right away. Thank you very much. I will do that. Okay. All right. Well, thank you for joining me. I hope you'll join future professional learning sessions. This was just a quick overview of what the year will look like. We're going to have some great presenters. Thank you. Have a great night.
Thank you.
Yeah.